guys, there was just some new Help Wanted 2 gameplay reveal that I couldn't find anywhere else, so I'm just gonna review it on REXTTURES channel, which is Fusion Z Gamer's brother, and Fusion Z Gamer's really cool. Check him out. I have a link in the description, and his brother REXTTURES channel. Subscribe to both of them. But Help Wanted 2 gameplay reveal.
This video, we're going to be going over all of the Help Wanted 2 secret details that were revealed at PAX West. Now, we got some awesome things to talk about. I'm talking about Help Wanted 2 gameplay, as well as some secret details that were revealed by Steelwool themselves at the actual PAX West booth.
I really want to see something.
There's a lot of stuff that has been happening this weekend, and we're going to be covering it all here in today's video. So if that sounds good to you, go ahead and grab your popcorn and a drink. Make sure you stay till the end for a very special reveal, and let's go ahead and dive in. So unless you've been living under a rock, you already know that there was a very special event over on the west side of the United States called PAX West.
So, PAX West had a Help Wanted 2 demo. People talked about like a Funtime Freddy Breaker Room VR version or whatever with different puzzles, a Bonk-a-Bon mini game, which is like bonking Helpy and Bon, and a carousel thing, which no one really could describe from what I found how it actually plays. So it's gonna be cool to see if it
basically
has that.
This is all about showcasing demos, and it's pretty much a big gaming convention. Now, of course, what makes it so special is that Steelwool themselves actually had a booth right here at this gaming convention, and it was basically there to show off and showcase the brand new FNAF Help Wanted 2. Now, I'm talking gameplay, I'm talking demos, and lines that literally went out the door just to get a glimpse of this amazing new game that is rumored to be coming out in December. Now, obviously, a couple big-name YouTubers did fly out. I know FNAF was out there, and Daco, of course, and he told me this event was absolutely insane. Apparently, the Help Wanted demo had a line that was hours long just for people to walk up and get a glimpse of the game. And from what I've heard, that was actually well worth the wait. You see, the demo that was shown here at PAX West actually included 3 minigames to select from. You could do a Breaker Room minigame, a Bonk-a-Bon, and a Carousel. Now, according to Daco and a few other people that I talked to, this Breaker Room minigame was kind of like what we saw in Sister Location, where you have to more or less distract Funtime Freddy and do a quick little puzzle. Now, the Bonk-a-Bon, on the other hand, seems a lot more up my alley because it's basically a whack-a-mole game, and the level has the player strike.
Whoa, hold on, that probably isn't real. But if it is, that's amazing. Look at that.
Bonbon, Bonnet, and Helpy with a giant mallet. And you can even see some footage here on the screen where Daco was attempting to play it himself, and he got himself a nice little jump scare. And obviously, I mean, this game is going to be completely in VR, so it's going to be a lot of fun and a lot more interactive to the players, very similar to how Help Wanted was, of course. Now, moving on to the third and final game that was available at the demo, according to Johnny Blocks, it is the Carousel, and it's a rhythm-based level where the player must fix a series of puzzle panels using soldering irons as the moon, not eclipse, circles around the carousel. The minigame concludes with a survival section where you must fend yourself off from the moon. And speaking of eclipse, it was really cool that Steelwool decided to add this little demonstration of eclipse coming from what looks to be a security vent. And if you actually get a closer glimpse of this whole attraction, it looks really interesting. For one, outside of Eclipse, you also have a giant circus baby head, which has wires wrapping around and outside of her eye sockets. Not to mention a security monitor that looks to be looking at the daycare. And this can be further confirmed as you can see the generator from Security Breach Ruin right there in the frame. What's also interesting about this circus baby's head, it looks like it has that same tangled element similar to what we see in the circus baby head on the Blob. These look to be like the same wires that are coming out of Bonnie's eyes and the puppet's mask on the actual Blob's body. Oh, I forgot. Even Chica has these similar wires coming out of her. And while I'm at it, now that I'm thinking about it, Freddy and Friends teaser had that whole tangled thing. Remember, it came across the glitch screen, and it looked really similar to what's coming out of Circus Baby's head here. So, I don't know. Steelwool is usually really good at teasing things, and I almost think that this is going to be a level based off Ruin itself, or at least FNAF Security Breach. I mean, we've got Eclipse coming out of a vent, we've got the tangled wire, which could mean that the blob is coming after us, and on top of that, you have the monitor, which is literally showing the daycare with the generator from Ruin. Now, while we're on the topic of Security Breach, they actually had this really cool display, which had
I heard of these. I love the vanning mask because, like, on the other side, it's just like from
walkie-talkies that were used by the Mimic and, of course, Cassie. But they also had the mask, the Vanny mask itself, right here on display. And this thing looked great, so realistic. And Daco himself even put it on for a little bit. And who knows, maybe he saw a whole alternate universe similar to Cassie. But what I thought was really cool is they actually had a Faz wrench on display as well. And we already know this thing right here is going to play a big part not only in FNAF Security Breach, but also in the new Help Wanted 2 as well. And things didn't even stop there, guys. I mean, they literally had Freddy Fazbear and Glamrock Freddy and Kellen Goff, the actual voice actor for him, walking around throughout the entire event, giving out little Faz tokens. And here's a quick video.
Chicken Nugget, the weird dog show on YouTube. So apparently someone in there, I forgot who, maybe like Ice Cream or I don't know. But is voiced by Kellen Goff. And he voices like an abundance of characters in FNAF 2. Mainly FNAF is what everyone talks for him about. But he voices a lot of people. He's like a really good voice actor too. Perfect.
Of Glamrock Freddy himself walking up to Daco, saying that his stomach was hurt, and I guess Daco tried to repair him or something here. Not to mention, we had one of the most epic meetups of all time when Glamrock Freddy met up with Huggy Wuggy. But somehow, even cooler than Glamrock Freddy,
but Glamrock Freddy in the thing, he was trying to look for Markiplier, okay? I don't think Markiplier went to PAX West, so I'm gonna comment on one of his videos telling him, go to PAX West. Please, Markiplier, go to PAX West. Glamrock Freddy is waiting for ya.
Was the Freddy Fazbear that was walking around almost identical to what we could see in the movie. I mean, the details on these animatronic suits look absolutely...
No, the Glamrock Freddy and that Freddy was, I'm pretty sure, made by the regular Sauce. He makes a lot of cool, realistic FNAF cosplays, and those look very similar to the regular Sauce's costumes. So I think direct
absolutely incredible. And they both were passing out tickets for a little raffle giveaways all throughout the event. And you can see here people were winning books, calendars, and all kinds of cool things. Now, as mentioned briefly before, this booth was actually shared with the FNAF Blumhouse movie as well. And there looks like there was this little, almost like a gumball machine with Carl the Cupcake in the dead center. And basically, you trade out a quarter for a Faz token. And while we're actually on the topic of the FNAF movie, there was a brand new unreleased shot of a behind...
I got your curiosity, now let me get your attention. Question 1, do you play any of these games?
Question 2, do you...
the scenes image from the set medic Garen Sparks that just came out. And once again, shout out to Johnny Blocks, because you can see on this image here on the screen, there's a couple things that I would like to go over. For one, I don't know what happened to Freddy and Bonnie in this image. I don't know if it's more of a like back in the days, like maybe back in the 80s version of them. But they definitely look a little bit different from what we're used to seeing, not only at PAX West, but also the behind the scenes and the trailer. Now, I'm assuming, like I said, that these animatronic suits are for some type of flashback, or they're the ones from Ohio. I'm not really 100% sure on this just yet. But I will say the girl standing on the very far left looks like the same girl who gets attacked or something along those lines when she's looking inside of the mouth of Freddy in the trailer. But one thing's for certain, regardless, it's always nice to see a nice little behind the scenes image of what could be the best movie of 2023. But guys, I mean, overall, PAX West looks like an absolute success for not only the FNAF community, but also the future of the game and the movie. So I'm super glad that it happened. And big shout out to Steel Wolf for putting so much detail into this entire booth. I mean, all the way from the Vanny mask. Literally, when you flip it over, you can see the little occipital lobe thing that connects into Cassie's eyes, and the details in the animatronic suits and the walkie-talkies, not to mention the demo itself. Bro, I cannot wait. This is going to be one of the best years of FNAF in a long, long time. And if you ask me to theorize exactly what I think is going to happen in Help Wanted 2, I almost think that it's a certainty at this point that we're going to start off in the sister location, of course, but we're finally going to get some backstory on the Blob and a few other things.
Oh yeah, here's a theory. So you see. Okay. So Glitch Trap is purely the Mimic. I wanted to tell y'all my theory for a while, but Glitch Trap is purely the Mimic. I'm sure most people found that out. But that means William Afton is still in the UCN, okay? But Crying Child and Cassidy was in UCN. But Crying Child is Gregory, and Cassidy, come on guys, it's Cassidy. And if Cassidy has a new body, that means she's not in UCN torturing William anymore. That means, Crying Child and Cassidy aren't in UCN to make sure William's, like, doing stuff. So he's just sitting there, okay? He's in UCN suffering, of course. But the Mimic is Glitch Trap, pure AI, though. To mimic William, of course, but also, that means that, like, hopefully in Help Wanted 2, there's a UCN minigame. Because, like, since no one's protecting the thing with William, you grab the thing with William, with UCN, put it in the VR game, because, you know, Fazbear Entertainment could do that, and if you manage to beat the UCN thing, then William Afton, my boy Willie Appleton, can come back.
That were just left open in the air at the end of FNAF Ruin. And I'm super glad that Steel will put that little office area in the booth, just showing not only Eclipse, which shows some present day Ruin vibes, but also the wires coming out of Circus Baby's face and head. And I mean, at this point, I just think it's even more obvious that all of these games are going to tie in at some point and in some way. But guys, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up here. Thank you again for all the love and support. And if you enjoy FNAF content just like this, do me a big favor. Go ahead and hit that like button. And if you're new to the channel and you haven't done so already, make sure you hit that subscribe button as well. I promise you won't regret it. But yeah, thank you again, and I will see you in the next one. Until then, peace out!